This trick is called the squeeze. It's not really even a trick, I guess. It's more like a Zippo tricking basic, where a lot of tricks are based off of this. The most basic way is to have your index and middle finger on the lid, your thumb on the bottom of the Zippo, and you have the hinge pointing towards your palm. And basically, you just slide your index and middle finger down the side of the Zippo, and the top pops off. Um, you can do this many different ways. There are like a lot of variations. You could have the hinge pointing away from your palm and have the lid come popping out that way, or you can actually have your index and middle finger on the bottom of the Zippo and the thumb at the lid of the Zippo. So the Zippo is basically upside down, and same motion. You just slide down your index and middle finger, and the Zippo pops open. Obviously, if you have the lid facing down, the squeeze is a lot easier because you have a lot more mass from the body of the Zippo compared to just the lid, so it's much easier to pop open. One thing you have to keep in mind when you do a squeeze is that you really want to keep these two fingers together. Like, if you have them spread apart, like obviously this is a dramatic representation, you can still get a squeeze, but for a beginner first doing the squeeze, I think they'll find it difficult to get enough force behind the squeeze to pop the lid open. Like, if you don't do it hard enough, it'll just, not pop open all the way because you don't have enough momentum. Um, but I mean, this really transitions into a lot of different tricks. You could have it held this way where you have the lid pinched between your thumb and your index finger, and you have the hinge up with the body pressed against your palm, and then you use your middle finger and you squeeze it towards your palm and it pops open. Um, or you can actually hold it the other way, where you have the thumb on the lid and your middle and index finger on the bottom of the Zippo, and basically you're sliding your thumb down the side of the Zippo to do the squeeze. This is a lot harder, I guess, because you mainly just have one finger in this case, your thumb, putting all the pressure instead of having two fingers to help it. But it's just something that you have to practice over and over again. I think most beginners find that it's difficult when they don't get it at first because, I don't know, either they're not putting enough pressure or they're putting too much pressure, or actually the finish of your Zippo also makes a big difference. I have a black crackle here, and it has a pretty grippy surface, so squeezes are a lot easier. Like, I won't lose control of the Zippo when I squeeze it out. While if you use something like a satin chrome finish, it's a lot slicker of a finish, and I find that sometimes if you try and squeeze too hard and you don't really grip the Zippo on the bottom after a squeeze, that the Zippo can just fly out of your hands, which obviously isn't a good thing. But I mean, it's definitely something that everyone should learn if they plan on getting into Zippo tricks, because it's one of the most basic moves that transitions into other tricks. And I think really this is probably like the most well-known Zippo trick out there. I think almost everyone that has a Zippo has learned how to do a squeeze at one point or another. But yeah, it's pretty simple. Just, overview. You have squeeze any way you want, but the fingers that you're applying the pressure with, they should really stay together, and just don't imagine pinching your fingers together. Just imagine sliding the middle and index finger down the side of the Zippo.